Hey folks, welcome back once again to Indaba Africa. This is Chris. You know, some people do things simply out of the goodness of their hearts and their compassion for fellow man. Some people do things for fame and fortune. And some people just do things out of a sense of responsibility. And perhaps the first and the last of those two comments is what applies here. Certainly, the effort I'm about to talk about is not about fame or fortune. It's about doing the right thing, and it's trying to help other folks out. Many people around the world have now become, by now, after several years, become familiar with the iconic vision of the Witkruis monument, which is located outside of Polokwane in the northern part of South Africa in the old Transvaal. Many people have seen these iconic photographs of the crosses erected to commemorate the stolen lives, the victims of farm murders, the brutal, horrific farm murders that take place in South Africa. Thousands of those crosses are up there now. It's been going on for well over a decade, with the original crosses having been placed as early as 2004. But 2009 is when this monument really got busy. The person responsible for organizing the annual event at the Witkruis Monument, which took place this year on the 19th of September, is Lita Fourie. And as you'll discover in this interview, which is conducted, begins in English but quickly switches to Afrikaans. But no worries, folks, if you don't understand Afrikaans, there's an English voiceover so you can understand what Miss Fourie is talking about. But Lita Fourie talks about the monument, about the struggles to keep it going, the financial challenges of it, the fact that she's pretty much was left to her own devices by others who abandoned the project. It's amazing that this iconic image that so many around the world are now aware of is in a state where it constantly needs help. They sell vegetables to raise money so they can keep the thing going. Folks, if you can help out a worthwhile cause, this is a worthwhile cause. I recommend that you take a look at it and see what you can do to help these folks out. It's tragic that such a monument is necessary, but it is a stark visual reminder of the abject failure of the South African Police Service, of the African National Congress, and of South African society to protect those who are vulnerable in rural areas, in particular commercial white farmers, but not exclusively commercial white farmers. All farmers in South Africa are in jeopardy, white, black, colored, and Indian. But the crimes against white commercial farmers seem to be especially heinous. And it's a sad, tragic reading that takes place each year as new crosses are erected to commemorate and remember those whose lives were stolen from us. Miss Fourie does this with a little help from friends, and she does it without any fanfare, without any international attention. Perhaps folks can help out and reach out to the Witkruis organizers and help them out, raising funds to keep this worthwhile project going, to draw international attention to the onslaught against rural South Africans that's taking place each and every day. Just in the past week, we've seen the horrific, brutal torture, domestic terrorist incident and assassination of 21-year-old Brendan Horner in the Free State. Stabbed repeatedly, tortured brutally, beaten, hung from a pole. His murderers leaving the knife which killed him, which was used to execute him, in the dirt for others to find. The next morning, his father and his girlfriend found his body hanging from a pole in a clear sign to send a chilling message to rural white South Africans to get off of the land. Around the same time, we saw the brutal murder by strangulation with the collusion of one of her own farm workers, whom she trusted and hired to work for her, who helped collaborate in the incident that led to her death, the vile strangulation death of Chantal near Delmas. Then we see a family outside of Johannesburg attacked by 9 thugs who threatened to rape all of the man's children, 3 girls and a boy, all aged 6 to 18. This vile, disgusting behavior is ignored by the police. The lives of white South African commercial farmers are disrespected by the African National Congress, the very party whose president famously lied at Bloomberg in the United Nations Summit in early 2018 in refuting tweets that came from President Trump about farm murders in South Africa. President Ramaphosa, and I paraphrase, said, "There are no farm murders in South Africa. He's misinformed. He's wrong. There are no white farmers killed on farms in South Africa." Folks, this is categorically incorrect. It's a false assertion. It's a blatant lie. In addition to that, we see the callous dismissal about the safety and welfare of commercial farmers by the ridiculous, feckless Minister of Police, Bekele, who has no respect for anyone. The gangster himself with his gangster hat, Bekele, denying that these crimes are anything other than lumped in with other crimes. This, plus politicians inciting violence against South Africans from the economic freedom fighters, Commander-in-Chief himself, Julius Malema, running around and singing songs about killing farmers and then claiming it's cultural rights of his. And as if that's not enough, inciting domestic violence and terrorism against Clicks, a drugstore chain in South Africa, because of a disrespectful and offensive ad from a third party, Tresemme. And so he called his thugs in the economic freedom fighters to action and ordered them into the field to attack Clicks stores. And they looted and burned 44 Clicks locations across South Africa with impunity, no police presence. And then we see him now calling his thugs back to action to attack white farmers. The problem for him is that the people who are angry about this are not simply white farmers. They're South Africans, white, black, colored, Indian, all of whom have shown up for the biker rally, for the car rally, and now in Senegal just a few days ago to show their revulsion at the vile conduct taking place in South Africa. Folks, what you're about to see is a 5-minute interview, courtesy of Yanni Meyer, our intrepid field reporter who was at the Witkruis Monument on the 19th of September. This interview is with Miss Lita Fourie, talking about what her organization does to keep the Witkruis, or the White Cross Monument, going to honor those who were brutally stamped out by this horrific violence. Folks, if you find this interview interesting, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And my thanks to Miss Fourie for her efforts for the interview, taking the time to share with us, and also to Yanni for the efforts he did in the field to collect this information and conduct this interview. And feel free to subscribe to the channel, folks. Leave comments if you like, and feel free to smash that like button. But please find a way to reach out to the Witkruis Monument and help them so they can raise sufficient funds and get the help that they need to keep this monument going. Thank you so much for your time, your patience, and your patronage.
I'm here with Mrs. Lita Fourie. She is the organizer of this Witkruis Monument event every year. I'd like to ask her a couple of questions people in the world do not know. Lita, when did you start this initiative?
It started in June of 2004. I handed over the crosses that day because I lost my parents. Then nothing happened until 2009 when I took over. Since then, every year we kept statistics and planted crosses. Then in 2016, all those who helped and were involved told me the costs were just too high and that I must carry on my own. The costs too high? Hopefully you can get exposure through this. Are you a non-profit? Yes, I am. But you know, I don't ask anymore. My friend and myself start planning after each year's event is over. Don't ask me where the money will come from, but it does. We sell vegetables that we collect from farmers, and that profit goes directly into this event. It saddens me to hear this. I believe there are many of us who simply don't care about becoming involved. We don't get the exposure from the media. And media like DSTV are dominated and controlled by the ANC. It is really sad. Maybe you'll get some exposure somewhere. Maybe Marula Media will cover you. Yes, but we've had the media here in they don't want to give us coverage. They say it's propaganda. That is why we research every murder, every cross on the internet. Benny of the TLU works with Barend. We work as a group and make sure that the figures are correct. Somebody has been injured in a farm attack and is in the hospital and he dies. We consider being murdered. So yes, we make sure and we verify. We don't just plant crosses. We're told that we just plant crosses. There are 1,400 old crosses. They do not have names. I sit with the names. There are over 3,000 crosses here. But you know what? Nobody has really counted them. But I know, like you've seen this year, every year I plant those crosses. If I go back into my statistics, I can tell you that nobody has really counted them.
Lita,
what gave you the passion to take over and what keeps you going? I had to learn from a farm murder in 2000. Nobody knows who are here or in the country if they haven't gone through this terrible experience. You understand the reality and what happened, but you've got to go through this. And this is what is my passion. Everybody on this committee experienced a farm attack. And that is why they put their hearts into this.
Any toekoms?
And what about the future? You're running out of space. Are you going to concentrate the crosses to see them better from above? I think you can see it clearly from above. But there are many improvements still that have to be made. Yeah. We want to improve movement on the site. There is limited space to move around. This year we scraped and we cleaned the site. We need to improve the parking. We are planning to build a wall of remembrance and we want to build a pathway to the top. Yes, we want to improve this place and I believe it will be ready by next year. We pray for you and your committee and those people who are lying there on the hill. May God bless you and bless you supernaturally. Because you have taken leadership with what you have done, you must realize that you are part of the leadership of the Afrikaners in this country. We thank you for that and thank you so much for this interview.
Baie dankie vir die onderhoud hoor.
So groot plesier. Dankie man.